Well, talking about my disabilities, that was well, it was serious, but somehow I've managed not to stay in a hospital. That was the illness. The doctor said there was a schizophrenia that's caused by women having the pressure of having a baby, and with depression as well. I think that's why it is depression. So I was on medicine. I was having soul pride. That's a medicine that I didn't like. It was making me worse and worse. So I have to stop. They've changed another medicine which I didn't like. So I've decided to 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 watch my diet. I decided to eat healthy and to go back to the gym. This is something that I did consider the best option for me not to take medicine. So I've stopped. I've stopped. I've stopped taking salt pride, and I've stopped taking the other medicine. I can't remember the name of it. I went back to the gym. At the same time, I had my doctor who was following the progress of my health. So it was serious in a political way. It was serious, but it's something that I overcame by by watching my diet. So I was on, well, I'm getting a disability allowance for that. It just, I think the reason is the doctor did say that even if I feel I'm strong enough, anything can happen. Instead of maybe going back to another process again, maybe to seek or to apply for money or something like that, just in case if it happens again. So while I was on the hospital with my twins, so the doctor did suggest that just in case, I know you, because I did say that I feel better, I'm strong enough to look after myself, but just in case if it happens that you got something to prevent you maybe applying and all this, and then I had to go back. To do something just to preoccupy my mind. I went to do English, and I had a freedom pass for me to go to school, to college. So that's why it was given to me. It was just because they didn't want me to stay at home while my kids was in care with social service. So they didn't want me to stay at home doing nothing. So I think that's why I got the freedom pass. That's why I got the disability allowance as well. At the same time, I'm looking for a job. I stopped signing on with the job center. I started my own charity, which is registered as a PLD, which is a private charity. I wanted to make my own living, so I've started. I did the business training for 6 months, and they said that I'm not making enough money for me to live, because once I've signed up from the job center, I have to pay my rent in full, and I have to pay other bills as well, which I couldn't because the business wasn't making enough money. So I didn't want to go back to sign on with the job center. I decided to use my money to pay the rent, which was not enough. Even though I paid the rent, I still had to have a bills that I needed to pay. So I was advised to go back and sign on. This is something I don't really like, to go and sign on in the job center. I just wanted to carry on with the business until I can make more money to pay for my rent and pay for other bills as well. So I stopped the medicine, and I was discharged as well from the hospital. Everything is in the court. I went to court because they wanted to take my kids for adoption. So I went to court for 4 years to get my kids back, and I went to court for 4 years to have access to see my daughter who is in Liverpool. So I went to court for 4 years. Apart from that, that's a schizophrenia, which is a depression. So there's nothing wrong with me, in a sense. I'm healthy. I can look after my kids well. My kids are going to school. I can manage my house. Everything is organized. I've got my charity, and my kids are always in school, and they're well looking after as well. So I've been looking after them since they came out of the social service. Everything was finalized in court for me to have them back, and since they were 7 months, so now they're 8 years old. So I've been looking after them for 7 years now on my own, which is something which I don't really see why people just still don't believe that I'm okay. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I've seen worse than schizophrenia. It's not something that I can talk about it. I've seen worse people with disability as well, or other illness as well. Like this is something. It's still an illness, but this is something that I didn't want it to destroy my freedom. I want to have my life. I want to be normal like everyone else. I wanted to go back to work. I wanted to do everything normal. So the medicine that I didn't want to take, and I didn't want to depend or maybe on staying in a hospital. So I had to be fit, which I am a fit. I had a fitness instructor who 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 was giving me as well the progress of my health. So which is, I'm perfectly fine. I'm fine. My diet is fine. I'm eating healthy food. I'm having enough sleep. I don't really have a problem with sleeping. I can only, if something disturbing my mind, maybe I can stay awake all night, or if I want to meditate, or if I want to pray. But I've got no problem sleeping at night. I've got no problem looking after my kids. I've got no problem taking care of my house and other things as well. And I'm running as well my own charity, which I'm hoping that will help me to come off of the job center. It's just a matter of trying to see how I'm gonna make money without going to the job center. This is something I don't enjoy, going to this job center. Not just going to the job center, but just you have to be there on time. You have to queue up, and you can't plan even if you want to go away, or if you want to travel. This is something when you're signing on with the job center you can't do. So I don't enjoy that, because I like an emergency. If I want to go somewhere, then I can't do nothing when I'm signing on. So I'm okay. That's the disability I have. It's not something serious. It's a low company. There's no risk on it as well. So I've got everything written down in court. Everything is in a paper, and I've got my doctor as well who's got my file in Manchester, and some file was transferred in London when I was in court. And well, that's it about my disability.